Okay, good evening, everyone. Wow, it's going to be such an exciting call this evening. We've got some incredible leaders that are going to be sharing about the product technology. And firstly, just want to thank them very, very much for taking the time out of their busy schedules to be able to be on this call this evening. And yeah, so basically, just before we start, just what's very, very important is to realize that first of all, these products don't treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. I just want to make that announcement, but it's amazing what your body can do when it gets the right nutrients. And just a little bit about myself, I'm JP Costa. I'm all the way from Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm so excited about this evening. We've got three incredible doctors that are going to be sharing on the call this evening. And I'm going to ask the first doctor who's going to share for us is going to be Ilona Wilken. And I just want to read a little bit about her. So Dr. Ilona spent most of her life in the business world, as a business coach and business consultant with executives of large corporates. Due to them suffering from severe stress, burnout, fatigue, and accompanying depression, they are consistently expected to excel. She was encouraged by one of her medical friends and mentors to study restorative medicine. Her undergrad studies in physiology and psychology and postgraduate studies in neuroscience, human behavior, and metamedicines underpin her expertise in treating clients holistically. In addition to her business qualifications and degrees as an MBA and MCOM, Ilona holds a PhD in restorative medicine, and she's a qualified medical doctor in alternative and restorative medicine. And I don't want to go into too much detail about that because I sort of just want to share with you an incredible friend. And she's also a senior national director with Mannatech. So Ilona, if you can maybe just share with us just for a few minutes why you got involved with this company and just your experience with these products.
Good evening, JP, and good evening, everybody. First of all, JP, thank you so much being my gold presidential and a coach to me and really leading us in this business. It's such a privilege and an honor to want to know you and be in your business and also to be on this. As a medical doctor in alternative and restorative medicine, we are trained to focus on preventative medicine and restorative medicine. Now, restorative medicine means it's where we find the root cause of any symptoms or disease, and then through natural protocols, we address the root cause, thereby giving the body the ability to restore itself and restore it back to health. Now, I'm not sure if everybody on the webinar is or knows what is the greatest disease that we are suffering from in our day and time. And that disease is called malnutrition. Now, many people say, how can that be? But I can assure you that even many obese people that have lots of food in their stomachs, their cells are literally dying on a daily basis because it has no nutrition. The food that they eat or what they believe is actually contains no nutrition. So one of our biggest challenges in restorative medicine is to find a way to deal with the malnutrition. And the cells that have to be fed and to be given the nutrition. So when I finished my studies overseas and I had to start working here, one of my greatest challenges were to find the right products that would be natural and that the body would be able to absorb as food and that it could actually take up and heal itself. And was I pleased the day when Mannatech met me, because this changed my whole life. I have electromagnetic scanner that actually literally measures to what extent the information in the body, in the cells, are depleted or eliminated or scrambled. And this gets scrambled through malnutrition, also viruses and bacteria and other things. But I would always test the products through blood test and also through the scanner. And the day Mannatech met me and I became a fan with the products, my whole life changed, and so did all my clients and the patients. So the second thing after malnutrition that is important for us if we are interested in optimal well-being is to build and to nurture and nourish a very strong immune system. optimal well-being is based on a good immune system, and that starts in the gut through our digestive system. Now, it is of no importance if we have all the right foods and we get it in through either the vegetables and the fruit and meat we eat or the products we use, if our cells cannot communicate with each other, if they cannot receive the messages and send out the messages and know how to actually perform their functions. Now, this is critical, and this is why when I got to know the products of Mannatech, I really understood that what many people said in different third-party reports, that glycobiology, the science behind glyconutrition and glycans, which Dr. Grietjie Strydom is going to talk about more later in this webinar, that is really going to cause a medical revolution. Because on my scans in blood tests, I could every time see when I would use the core 5 products with my patients and clients, the one being GI Pro Balance, the pre and probiotic, Amritose, which is just the most phenomenal, the flagship product of the company that really creates cellular communication and gets the information sent and received by the cells so that they can perform all their functions properly. One of the greatest deficiencies in the body, if we test it today, is actually vitamin D. And that can cause many problems in the body. And we have this fantastic omega-3 with vitamin D that is really a great product, and our hearts and our brains and our cells are so dependent on this, and even our well-being in a total. If I can just mention that the antioxidant, the Amritose AO or Amritose antioxidant of Mannatech, which really increases the antioxidant levels in the blood, in the body, and therefore it fights oxidative stress, which is one of the greatest causes of any disease and problem. So we can really, through the Mannatech products, which are real food, it's made of real vegetables and plant products, and they do, honestly, I can tell you, I've seen it in the way that patients and clients would respond to it, but in the blood tests, in the scans, how their bodies just heal and become optimally well. I thank you for this, and be well.
Okay, thank you very much, Ilona. Thank you very much for sharing. We really appreciate that. Next up, I'm going to ask Dr. Douette Landman just to share quickly a little bit about her experience with the products. She studied at the University of Pretoria and graduated in 1998. She worked for the government for a very long time and has been in private practice for more than 16 years. And I actually had the privilege to be with Douette and them last weekend. And I can tell you this lady really has a heart for helping people. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to just hear what her experience has been with the products for the last few months that she's been on the products. Yeah, Douette, over to you.
Thank you, JP. It's a privilege to speak tonight. And I have to say it was a huge honor having you, together with our amazing silver presidential couple, Neil and Ilona Wilken, as well as Christel Skuman, my Senior Executive Director Upline, here in the sunny and green KwaZulu-Natal over the past weekend. We received amazing training and support, and we really appreciate it. Our journey with Mannatech started about 3 years ago. Soon after our then 2-year-old boy was diagnosed with a serious developmental disorder. Someone who has a special needs child herself suggested that we use advanced Amritose as a supplement as part of his therapy program, since it had made a significant difference in her boy's life. I have to admit, initially I only researched the ingredients for possible toxicity and side effects, and when I found absolutely none, since it is real food and not medicine, I started giving it to our boy. Over the next few months, we saw such a remarkable improvement in not only the symptoms of his condition, but also his general wellness. And I suggested we try Amritose for my father, who has a serious age-related disease. Once again, we saw steady and visible improvement in his condition. The symptoms were less severe and his general quality of life just improved. It was then when I started wondering why this is making such a difference, and my research began. I finished my formal studies in 1998, and not only did we have extremely limited time spent on lectures about diet and nutrition, but we had no knowledge about the scientific field called glycobiology, because then the field did not exist as a recognized science. Fortunately, times have changed, and in 1996, a whole chapter about glycobiology was added to Harper's Biochemistry. It's a textbook used in medical schools the world over. So I got myself a copy, and for the first time in my life, I learned about structures called glycoproteins on the surface of every single cell of our bodies, and how these structures that are made up out of 8 different glycan or sugar molecules are responsible for cell-to-cell communication. By reading through many other studies about nutrition, I always also realized a shocking truth, how deficient our diets really are, not only in these vital sugar molecules, but also in many other vitamins, minerals, and other essential nutrients. I also learned that most synthetic vitamins and minerals are derived and manufactured from byproducts of petroleum, coal tar, etc., not substances that you really want or need in your body. So, the 8 standardized sugars and amyloidose simply provide the building blocks our cells need, and by supporting cell-to-cell communication, it helps the body to function the way it was made to. For me, that is when the penny dropped. I somehow previously believed that amyloidose is an excellent supplement for people with health challenges. But I realized every body with a modern diet has this deficiency, and supplementing is actually not optional, it's essential. As for other supplements, this is only my opinion, but I believe that it is better not to take any vitamin or mineral supplement at all than to add synthetic supplements to an already highly synthetic diet. So my whole immediate family started taking the Mannatech Core 6 products, and we are all experiencing increased quality of life on so many levels. What I really appreciate about these products is that you can see and feel a measurable difference over time. For most people I know, there is a definite before and after when they take these supplements in the right way over a period of time. Before Mannatech, we used a lot of supplements and just sort of hoped that they were working. We could never really feel an actual difference. I honestly believe in my heart that glyconutrients and real food supplements are the dietary supplements of the present and the future. We, as independent associates, are so fortunate that Mannatech is a pioneer in the glyconutritional field, that we own the products, 117 patent rights to be exact, and mostly that we are a research and development company. Because this means that constant and continuous research is being done to ensure that Mannatech remains at the forefront of this amazing technology. JP and everyone, I look forward to seeing how Mannatech products and business will continue to transform our and so many other people's lives in the years to come. Once again, JP, thank you.
Wow, Douette, thank you very, very much for that. That was very, very enlightening, and I really, really appreciate everything that you're doing. Yeah, just you're such a great testament to what these products can do for people, and thank you for always being willing to help. We really, really appreciate that. So next up, we are going to have Dr. Grietjie Strydom. Many of you know Dr. Grietjie, and she's a medical doctor that qualified at the University of the Free State in 1984. She has more than 32 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. Grietjie has been designing, implementing, and managing corporate health and wellness programs for many years. She has consulted on health and wellness programs for large corporates such as Telkom, Massmart, Edcon, Vodacom, Alexander Forbes, Investec, and also PG Bison. She has been instrumental in motivating employers to implement HIV and AIDS programs and to ensure that all HIV-positive people have access to treatment. Her passion is to assist people to change their health behavior and their health lifestyles in order to attain optimal wellness and happiness. She's also an executive director of Mannatech. So, Grietjie, thank you very much for this evening. We really look forward to your presentation. Thank you for always being so willing to share. And you're really a true servant leader. Thank you very much, and all over to you.
Thank you very much, JP. I'm going to be going through the core 5 products in a minute. I just firstly want to explain to people why I got involved in Mannatech. And I think it's really unbelievable compliment to me that you keep asking me to talk on the webinar. But I must say, JP, you are the most awesome leader, and thank you very much for everything that you do, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't actually know anything about this business. Network marketing doesn't come naturally to most people, and it is something that you have to learn, and you have to have a leader like JP to assist you with this. So I got involved with Mannatech about 22 months ago. It was mainly due to my search for more natural assistance in terms of wellness. I realized that the chemical model of medicine wasn't actually really getting us anywhere, and I did more and more research, thank goodness for things like Facebook and the internet and so on. And I really went through a journey where I researched everything about nutrition, and I came to the conclusion that chemical supplementation is particularly bad for you because it's just adding more chemicals and more stress to your body, and that your body really does require real food supplementation. And this search led me to Mannatech. And I was absolutely in awe. An 80-year-old lady told me about glyconutrients. Now, you can just imagine how embarrassing it is for a doctor that's been qualified for 30-odd years to learn about glyconutrients, which she's never heard of, from an 80-year-old lady. And this 80-year-old lady knew exactly how the glyconutrients worked. And this really impressed me. And I realized that this model of direct selling in terms of glyconutrients is really actually quite critical, because people don't understand the technology, and they really require somebody that they trust to explain the technology to them. Because if I put a pot of Ambritose on the shelf in the shop, and I tell you that it improves cellular communication, you wouldn't have the faintest clue what it's about. And therefore, we rely on people who are actually using the product to understand the technology to convey this message to people. So I want to welcome all of you that have come here to learn more about the products of Mannatech. And I want to stress once again that these are not medicines. No doctor is in conflict at all in terms of telling people to use this. It would be the same as if I were to tell my patients to use carrots or cauliflower or broccoli or kale, because it's just food. So we're not purporting that these products do anything other than support your body's natural ability to heal itself. Your body has an innate ability, and it's required to heal itself on an ongoing basis. And in nature has also designed it so that everything that we need to heal our bodies is in nature. So aside from critical medication such as medicine once you've already got a very bad chronic disease, or antibiotics for serious infections and so on, most conditions can actually be healed and supported through stuff that is available in nature. And we just need to know where to find this. One of the biggest problems is the quality of our food. And my other colleagues, Douette and Ilona, have mentioned this. And it's just important to understand that all of the Mannatech products work in a synergistic way. It doesn't help you if you've got cellular communication, but you don't have vitamin C, or vitamin A, or vitamin E. Because every vitamin and mineral is a building block of the cell and the functions of the cell. And cells make up organs, and organs make up your body. So every single one of those supplements are critically important. So today I'm going to be talking to you specifically about the Mannatech products, in particular the core 5 products that we know of Mannatech, and all the information is available to you at the following websites: mannatechscience.org, where you can learn everything about our supplement, the ingredients in our supplements, how they're sourced, what the quality of them of it is, and also all about our studies that have been done on the products. 17 clinical trials have been conducted, human clinical trials, not on rats and mice, on Mannatech products. And this trial has actually proven that these products actually, these trials have proven that these products actually work in a clinical research environment. 12 of those studies are double-blind placebo-controlled studies, which is the gold standard for any scientific testing. Then at allaboutmannatech.com, you can also find more information about the company and the products and so on. And there are also tools, CDs, DVDs, and books available. And if you go to YouTube and you search for Mannatech there, you can also find additional information. But mostly also go back to the person that invited you on this call if you have any further queries about this. My colleagues have already gone through the company, the fact that the company is a research and development company. What I want to stress with you is that there's not one product that fixes everything, and you don't have to be a medical doctor to tell people what to use. As I said, these products are like cauliflower, carrots, beetroot, and kale, and you can't actually make a mistake by making any suggestions, product suggestions to people. This is intelligent supplementation, not super dosing that you get with chemical vitamins. And this is also important to understand. And if you do go back to your doctor, if you're a cancer sufferer or any other medical condition, your doctor says, whoa, hang on with the medication, please just explain to your doctor that this is not super dosed chemical supplementation, because that does make a huge difference. It's just food. Optimal wellness has to do with all the systems of the body, not just part of it, and the immune system, digestive system, nervous system, endocrine system, and cardiovascular system. And we suggest the core 5 products, and I want to introduce to you the 6th one, which is GI Pro Balance, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but which is very, very important because the gut function in the human body is unbelievably important, and more research is coming out to actually support this. So when we go into the first product, the flagship product of Mannatech is Ambritose, and this is the glyconutrient supplement, and as it says there, it's a dietary supplement, not medication. And what it does is it supports cellular communication. Cells have to communicate with one another in order to perform their functions, and it is really very important. Sorry,
Okay, hello everyone. I'm not sure what's happened with Grietjie there, so I'm sure that she will be back quite soon. So I'm just going to wait for, if you can just give it 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to just try and connect Grietjie up again. So we will definitely be back. So just give it a minute or 2. Okay, I've just spoken to Grietjie, so she's going to be on the, she's just waiting to reconnect. Yeah, it's always one of the challenges with technology. Sometimes the signals and everything doesn't always work that well, but she's going to be on the call straight away. And I've also, she will obviously then share a presentation again and obviously make sure she's got a screen share. So just give it a minute or 2 and she'll be on the call now. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait for Grietjie to get online. So while we're waiting for her, I'll just sort of proceed with the presentation so far. I'm not an expert but on the products, but I'm definitely going to just sort of go through from where she left off. So yeah, so there we go. So just quickly, yeah, just a few important websites. The first is mannatechscience.org. If you've got any questions, it's a very, very informative website. It's got all our clinical trials on there. So please have a look at that as well. And of course, also www.mannatech.com. And of course, all about mannatech.com. It's got a large amount of great tools on there. And then of course on YouTube as well. So just quickly, the purpose of this webinar this evening is obviously for new and potential product users and also to share with people regarding the business and how the business works. As Grietjie alluded to earlier, obviously Mannatech is a research and development company. We've been in business for more than 22 years. We are a health and wellness company with more than 117 international patents and more than 17 human studies. Our products don't fix everything, so you don't have to be a medical practitioner to be able to share this with other people. And one of the things I also love about our products is that we've got NSF approval on it, which means whatever we say is on the label is in fact tested through a third party in the product as well. So of course, optimal wellness is sort of it's not a bullet approach, and it's not a silver bullet approach where you just take one product and helps with everything. So we've got to realize that we've got 5 different systems in our body. The first being the immune system, then the digestive system, the nervous system, and of course the endocrine system, and lastly the cardiovascular system. So the key thing is really to support and balance all these different systems of the body. So you'll see with all Mannatech's products, they're really focused at treating those 5 different systems of the human body. Now, the core 5 products is, of course, your Ambritose, which is the glyconutrient formulation. This was, in fact, the product that Mannatech started off with. And then we've also got something called phyto-matrix, which is a completely plant-based, standardized multivitamin vitamin and mineral. Then we've got omega-3, which is incredibly important with vitamin D3. And also, of course, antioxidant, which is incredibly important against oxidative stress. And then also we've got a product called Plus, which of course regulates the endocrine system. We'll go a little bit more into detail of each of these products. So just firstly, the Ambritose product is what Mannatech's all about. This was the first, as I mentioned earlier, this was the first product that they discovered back in the early 90s. It's got more than 50 patents, which means no one else can produce this product anywhere in the world. So currently there's more than 200 plant sugars, and really 8 of them are essential for human health. And so this is really the flagship product of Mannatech. And actually what Mannatech did is they found a way of stabilizing these 8 essential nutrients and putting them all into one product. And that's obviously where you hear the word glyconutrients. And don't be shocked when you see glyconutrients, because glyco is not really sugar. It's a plant sugar. So it's 100% fine for people to be able to use. So don't be worried about it having normal sugar in it. It's not normal refined sugar. It's actually, in fact, plant sugars. So why do we need glyconutrients? Well, one of the National Academy of Sciences actually said that glycans are vital for almost every single different function in the human body. And what makes this amazing is that Mannatech is really what it does is it gives your body all 8 essential glycans. And it's incredible what happens when you give your body the right tools to work with it. It can actually heal and restore itself. So you might be asking is that why should we be taking Ambritose and why should we be taking these glycans? And the first reason is because the modern day diet only provides 2 of these 8 essential glycans. And the reason for that is because of modern day farming practices, green harvesting, food processing, and also cooking methods, which has changed drastically. We've got much more of a convenient approach towards food compared to actually taking the necessary nutrients that you need to be able to function optimally. The next is, of course, the food selections that have changed drastically. And of course, supplementing is not optional anymore. It's a necessity. So I just want to see, give me 2 seconds. Grietjie, are you back online?
I am back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Can you do maybe a screen share?
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem. We know the, let me just try and get off off my screen. Okay, perfect. There we go. So,
Whoops, sorry, wrong one. JP, the problem is I don't have that presentation on this computer. I've had to change presentations. Here we are.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, cool. Which slide were you on? So sorry, man.
Well, actually, I mean, yeah, I was on just going past Ambrose, but maybe you can just sort of carry on from Ambrose. Because I mean, I'm definitely, I mean, I sort of was just going through the slide. I mean, and you've got obviously a much better understanding. So if you can just carry on from there, that'll be great.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. Basically, I was talking about specifically the requirement for glyconutrients and the fact that every single person requires glyconutrients, and the sugars are on the outside of the cell in particular formation, and they communicate with one another, and that actually supports cellular communication, and every cell in the body communicates through cellular communication and is able to then heal itself, repair itself, and eliminate things like viruses and bacteria and so on, and support the immune system and support every single function of the human cell. Now, the body is made up of over 60 trillion cells. And each one of those 60 trillion cells require glyconutrients on the outside of these cells for cellular communication. And every day your cells make and break 25 million new cells per second. So that is a magnificent cellular turnover. And you really require this cellular communication to actually support your bodily functions, whether it is the restoration or anything else. So if you don't have these glyconutrients, that is why there's such a proficiency of chronic diseases in the world today, is because we lack these glyconutrients. And 6 of these glyconutrients are completely lacking in our current diet because we don't eat a good variety of foods anymore. We're not hunter-gatherers. We don't go out and eat the berries and the seeds and the nuts as they get ripe. And this is partially due to the fact that we just have a lot of processed food nowadays, and we also have all our food is green harvested. Specifically, glyconutrients are really badly affected by green harvesting. Because the last 3 to 5 days on the vine, on the plant itself, is when these glyconutrients really concentrate in our fruits and our vegetables. And if foods are green harvested, there's no way that we can actually get these glyconutrients into our diets. When we look at specifically at ambrose, there are 8 essential biological sugars. Ambrose contains 6 of the 8 essential glyconutrients, which we don't get in our diet. And the functions of these glyconutrients vary. They're complicated. If you want to go do more research glycans and not glyconutrients, because glyconutrients is the name that Mannatech has given to these glycans that they produce and that they make. But the actual scientific name is glycans. So if you want to go into the scientific research, then you should go and look at all the research that's been done on glycans in particular. When we look at specifically at cellular communication, there's been a lot of research in particular on that. And before 1988, they believed that proteins are responsible for cellular communication. And then with the advent of the advanced electron microscope, they saw, in fact, that it was these glyconutrients. And that's how they discovered that they play such a critical role in particular in respect of your immune system and your cellular communication. When we look at ambrose is almost like the operating system of the human body. When you look at a computer has got Windows as the operating system, and you can't run Microsoft Outlook or Word or Excel or any one of those programs if you don't have Windows as your operating system. And ambrose is exactly the same in the human body, or glyconutrients are exactly the same in the human body. Without glyconutrients, your body has no direction as to where must the vitamin C go, where must the vitamin D go, what must happen to the vitamin E, vitamin A, the calcium, the potassium. Your body needs the direction through cellular communication of the ambrose itself, or the glyconutrients itself. And if you don't have glyconutrients, this is often misdirected and the wrong things happen in your body. Like, for example, your body will attack the wrong cells. It will attack the healthy cells instead of attacking, for example, affected cells. So when you want to really restore your body, you critically require ambrotos. But I've told you before that that in fact, my Mannatech products work synergistically. So ambrotos being the operating system, you still require all of the other vitamins and minerals, and there are 27 critical vitamins and minerals in the human body, which you require for your daily bodily functions and so on. But the glyconutrients direct where these things go and how they are used. So when we look at the human studies that have been done on ambrotos, it's validated in scientific studies to support cellular communication, to improve your cognitive function, to improve memory, improve concentration, improve attentiveness, improve mood, decrease irritability, support your immune system function, and support your digestive system function. So you can see there that it's a huge amount of benefit that you can get from just taking ambrotos. And in fact, there are some studies that have been published on students to show their improvement. And in my own family, I can tell you now, my daughter's studies have improved substantially from using ambrotos. She's a third-year medical student. And whereas previously she really struggled and studied 2, 3, 4 hours a day, she's now studying only 45 minutes a day, and she's the third year, and she gets over 70 and 80% for almost all her tests and so on. So, I've had personal experience of just how ambrotos can improve your cognitive function, your memory, and concentration. Almost all of the children that I know of that have started taking ambrotos as a product in terms of concentration problems have improved absolutely substantially. So I can obviously, honestly, just recommend it. My husband is 72 years old, and after a couple of days of taking ambrotos, he came to me and he said, it's like the fog has lifted. And I always say to him, I always knew that you did have fog. And, but it's just such an improvement for a person to suddenly wake up and realize that you've got clarity in your mind and clarity in your brain. I can also say personally that I find that I have a lot more energy, that my mood has improved substantially, that I never feel down anymore. I'm full of energy and enthusiasm in terms of life. And I'm 100% sure it's due to the improved nutrition from the Mannatech products. When we look at the vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals that we require, phyto-matrix is our product, our multivitamin and mineral supplement. That's the second product that we're talking about today. And these are essential for the building blocks of the body. Whereas the ambrotos holds it all together and directs where things must go, if you don't have the building blocks, your body cannot actually manufacture the cells adequately and the cells can't perform their function properly. What is the difference between chemical vitamins and natural supplementation? In nature, the body has made specific vitamins with specific cellular receptors that actually where these vitamins and so on have to perform their function. No chemical supplement can make an exact replica of that. So you'd often find that chemical supplementation is touted as, great stuff and so on, and people do have slight benefit from it, but it's just not made the way nature has made it. And what worries me about that as a medical doctor and having researched nutrition thoroughly now is the fact that one of the biggest problems is that those are also chemicals, and they block certain pathways, and they also block the receptor for the natural vitamins. So if you have a chemical vitamin that doesn't perform the adequate function, it actually sits there in the receptor and it blocks the receptor for the natural vitamin. So for example, a vitamin C. If your chemical vitamin C sits there, it may actually have 1 or 2 slight effects on your body, which may improve your immune system a little bit, but it doesn't perform exactly like a natural vitamin C would. But then that blocks the receptor for the natural vitamin C, and your body actually struggles to get rid of that. And it is an extra strain, an additional strain on your liver and on your kidneys to get rid of those chemical vitamins. So we should get all our essential nutrients from food, but as we've explained, our modern diet doesn't provide us with enough. And About 95% of all supplements that you would buy in any pharmacy, and this includes your little health stores, which actually say that they have natural supplementation. Still 95% of the supplements would be synthetic. They'll be made from coal tar, from rocks and metal shavings. And I promise you that coal tar derivatives certainly cannot do what natural vitamins do. And in fact, ground up rocks that you get in calcium supplementation is actually positively dangerous to you, for you. And articles have been published to say that the research has shown that in fact, if you take a calcium supplement in the form of calcium carbonate or calcium citrate, that you have an 86% higher chance of dying of a heart attack or a stroke. So because those supplements actually sit in your arteries and they actually block your arterial flow, and that can cause like a heart attack and a stroke quite easily. Phyto-matrix is 100% food-based, vitamin and mineral phytochemicals, exactly the way the body is supposed to get it, and there is no substitute for natural supplementation at all. It's actually made from proprietary hydroponic technology from the Indian mustard seed plant, and all water and air that is used in the growth of these plants are actually controlled. So everything is controlled where the plants are planted. In terms of phyto-matrix, another important point to see is to notice is that your digestive enzymes understand what food is. They do not understand what coal tar derivatives are, and what rocks are, and what metal shavings are. They know what food is. So if you put food in your body will be happy about it, and you can take that on an empty stomach. One of the most telling things about Mannatech products is that you can take every single Mannatech product on an empty stomach. There's no requirement that you first eat and then take your products. And this is one of the telling things about chemical vitamins, because chemical vitamins make you nauseous when you take it on an empty stomach, because it's not food. But if you take Mannatech products, it's just food, so you can take that on an empty stomach very easily. And all the supplements are standardized, so you're not going to overdose on anything, or get too little of anything at all. When we look at the difference between organic vitamin, a complex vitamin like a synthetically manufactured, or something that's obtained from plants, it looks very different to something that is organic. So when you look at these two molecules, these are supposedly similar molecules of magnesium, but as you can see here, the structure isn't at all the same. And the one is fat soluble, and the other one is very slightly soluble. So it's very important to understand that these two things are definitely not the same. Amyritose AO is a third product that we're going to be talking about, and that's the antioxidant. This product protects and repairs your body against free radicals and oxidative stress, and it's a very, very good quality antioxidant, one of the very best in the world, proven by serum ORAC studies. Our lifestyle, such as smoking, drinking, eating processed foods and pharmaceuticals, and I would say mostly sugar. I think sugar is just about the biggest culprit that we can get. And then the 75,000 man-made chemicals. These all cause massive inflammation in the body, and you need an antioxidant to actually counter that. When we look at the United States government research, it shows that the serum ORAC is the gold standard for testing, and in terms of 1995, they said that you needed 5 servings of fruit and vegetables to obtain all of your nutritional requirements, and in 2012 they upped it to 7 to 14 fruits and vegetables because of the lack of vitamins and minerals that we actually get in our fruits and vegetables. Abrotase AO have got 3 human double-blind placebo-controlled studies that are published, and it provides you with 2.8 times the serum ORAC of the recommended fruits and vegetables. So if you're taking your Abrotase AO every day, you really do not have to worry about making absolutely sure that you've eaten all of your fruits and vegetables. Let me just go to the next one. The next product then is Plus, and Plus is a very critical supplement for hormone balance. These are not hormones, they're not male hormones or female hormones, they're plant sterols, and it's very, very important that every single person has enough plant sterols to feed their endocrine system, whether it's a child or whether it's an adult. These products are not just for adults or just for teenagers or just for people going through menopause. This is a product that every single person needs, because plant sterols is something that's very badly lacking in our diet, because all of us have developed a sweet tooth over time, so people choose sweet fruits and vegetables over bitter things. And unfortunately, most of the plant sterols that you get in nature, the stuff that's supposed to feed your endocrine system, is very bitter. Stuff like kale and so on, and even vegetables that we don't even eat anymore today because people have lost their taste for it, and it's not propagated because it's not popular. So in two of those caplets, you can find all of the required plant sterols that you need to balance your endocrine system. In our body, we've got over 96 hormones, and we need very specific nutrients for those, as I said. These are not synthetic or plant hormones. They're just the food that the body needs to actually make those hormones. We are subject to a lot of xenohormones, which are hormone disruptors, which are man-made substances that have a hormone-like effect, like plastics, pesticides, cosmetics, and non-organic foods, can linings, BPA, and we can go on and on. There are millions of those things that we expose ourselves to on a daily basis and that disrupt our hormones. And that is Plus takes care of all of that, because as I said earlier, in nature, we find all of the resources that we require to actually repair the body naturally. Throughout the centuries, people have had challenges on their bodies, and their bodies have been able to heal naturally through nutrition. And it's time that we actually go back to the fact that Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food. And Plus is such a good example of that, because it really is just substances that you find in nature that we're supposed to be eating, that we're not eating anymore, that actually balance your hormone system, your hormonal system. Plus is very, very good for anybody with regard to breast health, prostate health, bone health, colon health, immune health, heart health, and your general well-being. I promise you, if you take Plus, it's really like your whole body just gets revived, and everything is just in balance and a lot calmer. So it's really a product that you can truly give to any one of your people. Even children can take Plus with the greatest of ease. Omega-3 is our next product with vitamin D3, and this is an essential fatty acid. It's also got added vitamin D3, which is called the sunshine vitamin, because that's where it's manufactured from. And many, many people, even in South Africa, are testing deficient in vitamin D3. And I've seen that myself, with regard to a lot of people that I've screened as well. A lot of people are vitamin D3 deficient. And even people who are outside most of the time, because they're using sunscreens and so on, are actually vitamin D3 deficient. Why do we need omega-3? Omega-3 is critically important. Omega-3 is an anti-inflammatory, and it actually counteracts inflammation. Now, it's important to understand that in our diet, we get up to about 30 times too much omega-3. The omega-3 and omega-6 are supposed to be in a balance of 1:1. But because we eat, a huge amounts of products that have got omega-6, like animal fats and sunflower oil and, all kinds of other saturated fats, and we don't get enough omega-3, the balance is out. And what happens here is that omega-3 being anti-inflammatory and omega-6 is actually inflammatory. The omega-6 actually blocks the receptor of the omega-3. so that the omega-3 then has nowhere to go and cannot do its anti-inflammatory job. Now, it's very important for you to understand that the body does need to have some inflammation, but not overwhelming inflammation. So there needs to be a balance. Why does the body need inflammation? The body needs inflammation because it's a healing process. But if it's out of balance, then you have an overwhelming inflammatory response. So if you get an injury, for example, you get a rotator cuff injury, you are going to have an inflammatory response, and that is actually a healing response. And this is one of the problems with chemicals, drugs, and medication, is the fact that if a doctor gives you an anti-inflammatory to take away the inflammation, it actually does also counter the healing. So he gives you an anti-inflammatory so that you can feel better, but he's actually countering the healing that is required in your body. And this is really important to understand, because if you just take 2 omega-3 capsules twice a day, you are going to actually get rid of that inflammatory response very, very quickly. In nature, you will find the supplementation that will support your body's healing. It just takes a little bit longer. But we live in a society of instant gratification, and we want everything to happen immediately, and that's part of the problem. So rather take the supplementation on an ongoing basis and get a really good result for the rest of your life than try and just fix things with chemicals as you go on. Omega-3 is very vital to support your cardiovascular health, brain health, and swelling and inflammation. The omega-3 is ultra pure. You get none of the fish burp that you get with any of your other supplements, and that is just a sign of just how pure it is. Because there are a lot of other fish oil supplements where they actually just put the fish oil in. It's not actually omega-3, that's just omega-3 that's in there. In the Mannatech products, there's just omega-3 in there. It's not just a filler with a bunch of fish oil. And when you don't get that fish burp, it's because it's so pure, such pure omega-3, that you actually don't have the fish oil bloating and so on that goes with it. When we look at the omega-3, we also have the optimal ratio of EPA and DHA. Those are the 2 types of omega-3 that we need. It's also sustainable because it's the anchovies are farmed from the deep cold waters of Peru. And once again, no fishy burp, which is really important. What then sets Mannatech apart? Before I get there, please, can I just mention that GI Pro Balance is a probiotic, and it's an incredibly important product. It's actually one of the core 6 products. The reason why probiotics are so very, very important is because more and more research is showing us that more than 70 to 80% of our diseases actually start in the gut. And these are not stomach problems. I find a lot of people say to me, but I don't need to suggest GI Pro Balance because the person doesn't have gastrointestinal symptoms. That's not what GI Pro Balance is for. GI Pro Balance is for entire ultimate good health. Your body is unbelievably reliant on the good probiotics in your gut. And if you don't have the good probiotics in your gut, it affects all of your bodily systems. It affects from your brain function right through to everything else. And every single person actually should be taking GI Pro Balance because it also enhances the uptake of their Mannatech products substantially. So if you take GI Pro Balance, you are going to get a lot better benefit from all of your other core 5 products. So please don't forget the GI Pro Balance. It really is very, very important. In terms of the latest research, it's shown that good probiotics actually secrete neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which are your hormones, your neurotransmitters that actually keep you, keep your mood happy and keep you full of energy. And the serotonin, for example, very, very important for people to not become depressed. If you don't have enough serotonin, you go into depression. And if you have overwhelmingly bad bacteria in your gut, then they actually secrete all the stuff that makes you moody and unhappy and anxious in particular. And that's why GI ProBalance is so important in children as well, that have behavioral disorders. If you start them on GI ProBalance, the behavioral disorders actually, just go away very, very quickly. And the children are just far more calm, less anxious, and less disorderly. So it's really important to understand what people need GI probiotics for. And the GI ProBalance of Mannatech is proven to have, even after 1 year on the shelf, more than 1.5 billion colony forming units, which is very important, because most of the probiotics that you buy in Dis-Chem and in Clicks and so on, any other health store today, the probiotics are actually dead, because when they encapsulate them, the probiotics actually die. So you can go and buy a bottle of probiotics on the shelf at any health store, and you have absolutely no guarantee that there are any live probiotics in that. And a telling thing is, if you take those probiotics and you put them in a glass of milk, and the next day the milk hasn't curdled, then you can just know that those probiotics are not live. So please do support the gut system and the whole body with GI ProBalance as well. So Mannatech is very, very different, because we support a philosophy of optimal wellness. We don't have a silver bullet approach, but we look at the whole body, and all of our products work absolutely synergistically. We also have the science to prove that what we say is true, and in addition to that, we have hundreds and thousands of Mannatech associates that actually can testify to the wonderful effects that these products have had on their own health. When we were recently at Manifest in Dallas, I was so excited to meet not just one or two, but quite a lot of Mannatech associates from America that have been using Mannatech products for 23 years. Now, that is extraordinary. I was just thinking the other day, if there's even one product in my house that I've been using for 23 years, and I couldn't really think of any one product that I've been using for 23 years. So that is phenomenal, to meet a lot of people that actually have been using these products for such an extended period of time, and it does say something about that. So thank you very, very much, guys. It was wonderful to share, and thank you, JP. Over to you again.
Wow, Grietjie, thank you very, very much. We really, really appreciate it. I definitely, most certainly learned quite a bit in your talk this evening. And to everyone that's on the call this evening, thank you for taking the time to be on the call this evening. I know it's an hour out of your week, but you know what? If you can just learn one or two things that can maybe make impact in your life, I really, really think it's worthwhile. So to all of you, have a good evening, and thank you very much to Dr. Grietjie Strydom, Dr. Ilona Wilken, and also to Dr. Douette Landman. I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time out, and God bless. Thank you very much.